Hi, what's going on? I said I was coming on at 10:30, so here I am, and I'm not going to waste any time with all that Instagram live waiting stuff. My name is Jennifer Arnise. Welcome to Black Mother Wound. This is the new page. My last page got deactivated by Instagram. It is what it is. And so we're back at this new page, and I center the black stories of black women, and I help black women heal from the challenging and painful relationships that they have with their mother. And so this page is really a collective healing community for black women who have those types of experience. Hey, trust your path. So I want to talk about, I posted what do you call it, a reel the other day talking about what is a black mother wound. And so since then, I've gotten some questions in my DMs because a reel is only 30 seconds, so you can only say so much. So I really wanted to go into more detail about what is a black mother wound. So often people come to my page and they're like, oh my God, I never knew this was a thing, but everything that you're saying applies to me. So there are women who know they have a difficult and challenging relationship with their mother, but they don't know that other people have it. They don't know that it has been defined, and it's really important when you know that it has been defined, because then you feel seen, you feel validated, and you know there must be other people who experience it, which means there are options for your healing of that wound, right? So, you know you have a difficult relationship, but you don't know what it is, you don't know why it is, and you spend so much of your time trying to manage this relationship and understand how it got to be this way and why it's not a more loving, nurturing, and understanding relationship. The relationship you think that everybody else has, which is really not true. So let's just jump right in. What is a black mother wound? Okay, so first I'm going to start with what is a mother wound. And a mother wound is a defined psychological term, and it is the trauma that a mother passes down to her daughter based off of the powerlessness she feels due to the patriarchy, meaning the powerlessness she feels based off of her being a woman. So it's really a woman living in a sexist society, and the ways that her power and her personal authority have been taken away from her because she's a woman, right? So it's really an injustice, and it's a form of oppression, right, that women deal with. A black mother wound is that same powerlessness because you're a woman, and then you add the way a woman is objectified and traumatized and wounded because she is also black, right? So a black mother wound is just a mother wound with the extra wound of blackness on top of it. So, because I think someone had said, why is it a black mother wound? Why isn't there a regular mother wound? And there is a regular mother wound. And it's that intersection of being a woman and being a mother. And the black mother wound is really about the intersection of being black and a woman and a mother, right? So why is there a trauma? How is that trauma brought out? By being a parent, right? Like, what's the big deal? So if you don't have autonomy, right? Because that's what it is. It's a lack of autonomy that you have, a lack of authority you have over your life, your mental life, your emotional life, your physical life, which also includes your financial life. You feel powerless, right? You don't have authority. And then you become a mother. And now as a mother, you are the absolute authority of another, right? So that automatically triggers all of those feelings of powerlessness, because now here you are in charge of another person, when systematically, as a black woman, you've really never been in charge of your own life because of societal norms, family norms, laws, all different types of things that come into place, right? So that trauma is then triggered and it informs the way you parent your daughter, right? It can also inform the way you parent your son, but it informs the way you parent your daughter because the daughter is the reflection of the mother, right? And the mother, consciously, subconsciously, energetically, is aware of the ways that she doesn't have power in her life, right? And so now you have to raise another child, right? Really in that same trauma. Because what happens is it's natural for us to have authority over our lives, right? It's natural for us to have autonomy over who we are. That's how we are designed, okay? That is our right. But that is not the truth that we live in based on our culture. Okay, so what a woman has had to do, and I'm going to break it down to a woman and a black woman. What a woman has had to do is learn to operate in an unnatural way for her own survival, for her own come up, for her own, for her own safety, actually. And, when we look at, the world we live in now, women can work places that men work, and women make money and live their own lives, but women still make less than men, right? Categorically, this is recorded. Women are at a higher risk for violence against men, okay? There are different ways where, because of our gender, we are more powerless, right? And so we have to learn at a very early age how to maneuver that. So imagine what a black woman has to learn how to maneuver because of not only her gender, but because of her race. And this is a generational trauma. So if you have a black great grandmother from the 1800s, imagine how she had to move in the world to stay safe. Imagine how she had to teach her daughter how to move safe in segregation, Jim Crow South, right? It's unnatural and it's actually traumatic. And it's interesting because I always think about Beloved, the movie Beloved with Oprah Winfrey from Toni Morrison's book, and how in the movie, visually watching Oprah drown her daughter because that was the most loving thing that she could do. That was the most loving thing she could do. Because to bring her up in a world of slavery and degradation and rape and violence, how do you do that? How do you teach her to live in that space, right? So that's why I focus on the black mother wound, because the impact of systematic racial oppression is so overwhelming on the way black women parent, right? And how you parent your daughters, because systematically we were brought up in a space where we were not physically safe. And in order to be safe, what did we have to do, right? What were the things that grandmothers taught their daughters and daughters taught me, what my mother taught me, right? Whether she verbally said it or through her actions. And that's where we are now, okay? It's still passing down that lack of autonomy, that lack of mental autonomy, emotional autonomy, and physical autonomy in the world, right? So having a black mother wound doesn't mean you don't love your mother or that you have a horrible relationship. I do work really with women who do have a challenging relationship with their mother. But it also has to do with just passing down. You have a mother that she can be very loving toward you. She can want the best for you, and you all can talk all the time and spend time together. But if she doesn't have a sense of autonomy, if she doesn't own who she is, right? Then she's passed that down to you, and you don't own who you are. And then in this generation where we are more free, where we do have more choices, right? That's really where a lot of that conflict comes in the generation that we're at now. Because it's like the world is so different than what it than what it was. My mother was born in 1946. So you thinking segregation, Jim Crow, the South, what it was like for a young black girl, for a young black woman to come up. What were the choices that she had? What were her options? It's totally different for someone like me who's, Generation X, born in the 70s. So then you have this conflict of, oh my God, here this black girl is going out into this world that was always very scary, and I can't protect her. And that is where the conflict comes in between black women and their daughters. It is the black mother having this strong sense that she's not safe, right? This fear that she lives with. We are born with two emotions. We're born with love, and we're born with the emotion of love and the emotion of fear, right? And so the emotion of fear was instilled in black people in this country. And it was even instilled even more into black women, that you are not safe. And how do you stay safe? Because you still have to operate in this world, right? So what does that look like? It looks like being small. It looks not saying what's on your mind, not being honest, not being genuine and authentic. It looks like taking what people offer. It looks like taking responsibility for other people's behavior who have more power than you, right? So it really looks like more abuse, and it looks like codependence, but it's masked. This is the whole thing. This is where we get crossed up. This strong black woman is masked as a strong black woman. I can do everything. I don't need anybody. I got this covered. I'm opinionated. I have all the answers. All of that is masking fear, because you have to do all of that to feel safe, because naturally you don't feel safe and you don't feel loved, right? So when you have a daughter, all you're thinking about, if you have unhealed trauma, right, and you're a parent, naturally when you have a child, you imagine your child going through everything you went through. And your only objective is, how do I keep them from having to experience the same things I experienced, right? So because you haven't healed yourself, and because you don't have your own personal autonomy, what happens is you go into this sense of controlling, trying to control the daughter, judging the daughter. And in that's where you get even more friction. That's where you get the jealousy. That's where you get the sibling rivalry, because the trauma of the black mother is triggered by the freedom that her daughter has, right? So that's really what the black mother wound is, and that's what it looks like in action, okay? So healing it is really not about changing the dynamic that you have with your mother. That's why I don't even talk about it a lot. I don't talk about how your black mother wound affects your relationship with your mother. I talk about how the black mother wound affects your relationship with the outer world and with yourself. Because more than likely, you don't have a true relationship with yourself, right? Because you've never been seen. Because if someone thinks you should be a certain way and you should show up a certain way, then that means they don't actually see you. So you never really learn to see yourself. So healing your black mother wound is really all about developing autonomy over self. Mental autonomy. What does mental autonomy mean? It means that you think your own thoughts. You don't have your mother's voice or Instagram's voice or your friend's voice in your head. You can think for yourself because you trust yourself, right? Because you understand yourself and because you know yourself. You have emotional autonomy. What does emotional autonomy mean? It means that other people can't pull your strings and make you happy and mad and sad, and you're not living in this space of reaction all the time. Okay, that's one of the main ones, you have a black mother wound, is because you can't control your emotions and you think it's somebody else's job. You think if other people would behave differently, then I would be calm, I would be happy, right? But it's because you don't feel control over your own life, right? You don't set good boundaries. Hello, you're highly self-critical, right? You're actually treating yourself the way that your mother, she treated you, because it's the only example that you have, right? So what does it look like when you lack physical autonomy? Lacking physical autonomy looks like you can't take care of yourself, right? Again, because you don't trust yourself, because you don't believe in yourself, because you doubt how you move forward, because you've never been affirmed in who you are, right? So it's really has now, and I always say this, and if you are in this community, if you came from the other page, and if you stay, you will always hear me say, healing your Black mother wound has nothing to do with your mother. It has to do with how you turn and mother yourself, right? And when you realize what that work is, you can release her from the job that you think is hers and know that, oh, this is my job, right? And really, that's a beautiful place to be, because then you can take control of how you're loved. And you don't spend any more time trying to get someone else to love you. Because if you're spending time trying to get your mother to love you and understand you, then I bet you that you're spending time trying to get other people out in the world to understand and love you. And you believe you have to work for love. You have to earn support and compassion. You have to twist yourself into a pretzel. You have to be who others want you to be, right? Those are all signs of an unhealed mother wound, right? So I think that pretty much covers it. This was really just about, getting clarity on what a Black mother wound is, how it shows up in your life, where it came from, and what are the benefits of healing it, right? And the benefits are that you are able to see yourself as whole and deserving of love. And you can move from fear to love. You can move from not feeling safe, and you know what it feels like when you don't feel safe in this world, and how often you feel that way, to feeling a sense of love and peace. Just that simple relaxation changes your whole life. It changes the relationships you have. It changes your career. It changes the relationship you have with your body, with your partner, with your children. How you move through the world knowing that you are safe changes everything, right? So yeah. So I think that pretty much sums it up. Stick around. I do the monthly healing classes. Of course, this page is new, so you probably don't know that. So since January, we do a monthly Black mother wound healing class where collectively I select a topic for the month, and then we heal on that topic. It's not something we do with our mind, it's in our heart, and energetically and collectively we do this healing work. And right now I am in beta of creating a membership platform, which is called the She Is Love Project. And so all of those monthly classes are going to be held in the membership site. All the replays are there. There's a healing program in there, and it's just a space where I'm always putting more healing resources in, and communicating with the women in that group so that you don't feel like you're alone in this, because I didn't have anybody to talk to when I was healing my mother wound, right? And so I want to create a space where Black women don't feel alone in that process. So it's just a nominal monthly fee, and it's definitely worth it. And I have a site up by the end of July. But if you're interested in learning more about any of those things, just send me a DM or email me at info@blackmotherwound. I also do one-on-one coaching. So if you're interested in that, you can DM me or shoot me an email. And this has been really awesome, you guys. I gotta go because I got another call coming. So talk to you later. Bye.